Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Justin Wolf from Wolf Customs. Travis and I are out scouting around looking for a new place to camp. If you look behind me here, that's 90% of Kansas right there. So trying to find a good place to camp is very hard. So I'm going to swing the camera around and show you an area right over here. So as you can see, there's some trees and everything else out in the background and everything, so we're just going to take a quick scout down there and see what we can find. It is some kind, isn't it?
I've never in my life seen this.
What the?
That cannot be normal.
I've never even seen that type in any books or anything.
I don't know what it is. It's like we've seen an alien life form. I've never seen this.
Anybody know what kind of cactus this is? Yep, even in the middle of God knows where, you're gonna find trash. And my circus dog is always gonna find a damn water bottle. And by the middle of nowhere. I mean the middle of nowhere. So when people say you're always gonna find trash, you always find trash. So we've come to the thicket of trees and we're looking around and we come across an old house foundation. And we have our very own shelter. No need in campus tarps and everything else. Although there's a huge muskrat nest in here. You find these kind of foundations a lot in Kansas. It's kind of strange. You'll just be walking along and you think you're in the middle of nowhere and all of a sudden you find these foundations. Happens a lot when I'm out snake hunting. Okay, so we've come back to literally the spot that has the most amount of trees, and just over that way is a pond that we can use for a water source if we need to. And basically what we're doing now is we've kind of settled on this particular spot right here for our shelters. From that tree to this tree here, I'm going to set up my lean-to, and Travis is going to do the same thing from that tree to that tree. That way we can share, a fire right in this area here. I don't do this a lot, but every once in a while, a lot of people are curious as to what is inside your packs and everything else. And I mean, when you look at this pack, you're thinking to yourself that there's just an overabundance of crap in it.
Yeah.
And, quite frankly, you get a lot of people that will sit there and say, you don't need all that crap and everything else. And I just wanted to show you guys that really what is actually inside this bag. Got a few bottles of water up on top. Some of my gloves, my hat, a few changes of socks. Then other than that, that is what's in there. And this is my bedroll and my shelter system right here. And this is a new canvas tarp that I'm going to try out today. I got this from Native Designs from Tom and Wendell. So I'm very excited to try this out. So then other than that, I have my axe in there, and that's it. There's nothing else in that main compartment. And in the side pouches, I have, you know, some food and a cook kit, and you know, a headlamp and a few miscellaneous items, but not a whole bunch of needless junk at all. Alright, so not only am I trying out a new canvas tarp, I'm actually using a new ridge line that my buddy Joe Mobley sent me. And it's a ridge line that's made out of paracord, except it's braided so that you can get it to where it won't stretch on you a whole lot. So we're going to try this thing out for the first time and see how it works. Seems like it's going to work out quite nice.
Feel good. Yeah. Does that feel good, Maya? Yeah. Yeah. Look at that. She is so reckless.
Told you that dog is psychotic.
Oh my God.
Hey, guess what? Your shelter's filthy.
I know.
Okay, so here is my canvas tarp by Native Designs, all set up. That's the front view. Let's go around to the back, because I've pointed out that this thing comes with a lot of tie-outs on it. And that made it kind of nice, because I can do something like that. Pulls it out, gives it a little bit of shape to it. So basically tonight, when we have the fire right here, that heat should come along, go all the way around it, and just kind of roll around back onto me. So, should be nice and cozy. So my first impressions of this tarp after putting it up is it is very well built. Very pleased with that. The tie-outs are fantastic. The size of it is great. Now it does come with a factory waterproofer already on it, but you can actually see daylight through it. So I am definitely going to go back and you know, treat this with something. But I am going to go ahead and get out some water real quick, and we'll just dump a little water on this and see how it does. Alright, let's try it out. Not bad. As you can see right through here, it is starting to absorb. So I mean, if you were in a, especially I bet you if we go over this tie out. It's not doing bad at all. I mean, if you were in a light rain, you know, you're going to be just fine. But if you were in a torrential downpour, it's going to soak through. Originally, I just had the two corners tied down, but I was taking some notes off of what Travis was doing, and you know, what he did is he ran his line through here as well, then used a fork stick to prop this up. That way, you know, as we're sitting here talking around the fire, we can actually look at each other. Because if I drop this down, like when I'm getting ready to go to sleep, obviously I'm not going to really be able to talk to Travis face to face at that point or anything like that. So I really thought that was a good idea. And, you know, I see a lot of people get kind of butthurt at times on, you know, different forums or YouTube videos where someone does something and then another person does it, and then the original person says, oh, well, person 2 is copying off of me. Well, of course they're copying off of you because they thought it was a great idea. That's what we do. We copy from each other. We learn from each other. There's no difference between learning from each other and copying from each other. So, I mean, if you really want to learn, you watch others, you learn from them, and then you do what they do and find your own way of doing it. So okay, so far I've just been thoroughly pleased with this tarp. Again, this tarp is from Tom and Wendell Humphreys at Native Designs. I'm going to put a link up. Maya, get out of there. You're knocking the camera over. I'm going to put a link up and show you guys exactly where you can get these things because, like I said, I'm just thoroughly impressed with it. I mean, these things only cost $120, okay? And they've got a crap ton of tie-outs on them. The only downside is, you know, it's not necessarily waterproof. It comes with a factory seal on it, but it's, you know what, no big deal. Like I said, $120. So this dog is going crazy right now and she's eating me. But you know, just to throw on an extra waterproofer on this thing, it's not a big deal at all. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. So yeah, I mean, you can see that there's just plenty of room in here. So me and Maya are going to sleep quite well in here, unless she attacks me all night, which I hope she won't. No, don't eat the tarp. Why do you got circus music playing in your head all the time? Out of control. Out of control. Okay, so, you know, here's the thing. I can't really give you my honest opinion on this tarp until I actually use it overnight. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. We're going to get a nice fire going, count down the hours, and sit back and relax and have a nice enjoyable evening. Well, so far so good. The shelter's doing a really nice job of rolling the heat around in it. I mean, right now we just got a very small fire going, and I mean, you can actually still feel the heat rolling around in it. It's very comfortable right now. So gonna see how the night goes when we put the long logs on and turn in for the night, I guess. You know, I've never liked the idea of sleeping on a bed of leaves or anything else when you're on the ground next to a fire, relying on fire to keep you warm, because we've talked about it before, you're just sitting on a big tinder bundle. But when you are able to lay next to a fire, sure is relaxing. Well, we're getting ready to turn in for the night. Pulled some longer logs onto the fire. They're not very big, but you know, use what you got. I think outside temperature's about 31, 32 degrees or something like that, but inside the shelters it's, what do you think, Travis, about 50 degrees?
It's easily that. The thermometer says 54.
Oh jeez. I'll say it's very, very warm. So shelter's working good. Still very, very satisfied with it. So gonna turn in for the night. We'll see you guys in the morning. Holy hot logs. So I wake up and I guess Travis started to stir, and he said he was tired of waking up and his side of the fire being out. So what's he do? He goes and finds the biggest damn tree he can find. This thing is about the size of a school bus, and he puts it on the fire, and now, I shit you not, the shelter is 107 degrees. You can't make this stuff up. It's like 30 degrees outside and Travis has got the damn thing 107 degrees. You're out of control, Mr. Henry.
I'm sorry.
Alright, it's morning time. Got a little water on the boil. Get some breakfast skillet going on. The Volkswagen is actually still in the fire that Travis threw in. And by Volkswagen, I mean that's about the size of the log that he threw in last night. But learned a pretty valuable lesson with that log is when he first threw it on, the max temp that it got, you look down there in the bottom, got 113 degrees inside the shelter and a minimum of 32. Right now it says it's 110. I don't know that. I think the thermometer just must have boiled up and blew up because it don't feel 110 in here. But I guess is what I'm trying to say is last night we were throwing some long logs and everything else on the fire, not necessarily for a survival fire. I mean, the logs are only about 8-10 inches around, and they would just burn too fast. And you know, every 30 minutes or so I'd have to wake up and pull the logs over on the fire, so you just wasn't sleeping hardly at all. Well, Travis threw that big giant log on there. Obviously the temperature skyrocketed in our shelters, but after that log kind of subsided, you were able to comfortably sleep on top of your bedroll and everything else for a good long while. Not for 30 minutes. I mean, the log is still burning in the fire. So anyway, sometimes I guess it is nice to just throw that big log on there, deal with the extreme temps for a few minutes, and then just have a comfortable evening. Alright, so last night the wind actually kicked up at one point. So right now I'm just kind of walking around and I'm checking the tarp over, seeing if all the tie outs stayed. Nothing ripped or pulled. You can see how beefy he makes those. Gotta tell you, the tarp actually looks in really good shape. Couldn't be more pleased. Literally, I think the only downfall that I've seen on this tarp is the fact that it doesn't come, really weather treated. It just comes with the factory seal, which is going to get you by, in a very light sprinkle or very light rain. But in a torrential downpour, it would not hold up, I guarantee it. But like I said, these things are they only cost $120. So you're looking at $100 for the tarp and $20 for shipping at that point. So honestly, I think it's worth every penny. Spend a few extra bucks and waterproof it yourself, and I think you've got a very solid tarp. Rolled the heat of that fire around there, very nice. So stayed very warm all night long. Very comfortable. Blocked the wind really nice. So Tom, Wendell, both of you guys, I really appreciate all the hard work that you did on this tarp, and in the short notice. I mean, that was completely unexpected, and I greatly appreciate it. So guys, if you're looking for yourselves a nice canvas tarp, check them out. Native Designs. So, hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and as always, have a good one.